to increase even as various investors put two and two together and also realize that many others who are complaining to have invested in property fronted by the Suraya Property Group, but it never came to fruition. And speaking of which, we are actually on Kiambu Road, as you rightfully said. One of the properties that was supposed to have come up in 2017 is Links Classic off Kiambu Road, and I'm joined by Ruth Wanjuku, who is one of the investors that put her money in this. Ruth, thank you for joining us. Yes. You said you put your money in which year?
September 2016. I paid for 2 units. I was promised the houses will be ready by the end of 2017. Up to now, I've been complaining. They have been telling me we are waiting for the rainy season to come to an end so that we can do the construction during the dry season. The dry season comes, it ends, then another rainy season starts, it ends. They always say like that. Up to the time when I just lost hope, I decided to go to their head offices because I was just coming to the offices of the Kiambu Road. Now I decided to go to their head office to look for the directors. When I went there, the directors avoided me. They just sent their representative to talk to me. So I said I want refund of my money. You have been giving me a lie after another one, a lie and after another one. So I want my money back. So the representative of the directors told me, can we give you another unit, another completed unit, so that you can add some money, and so that we offset the ones you had paid for the deposit, because I had paid 3.4 million, and I said no, it's okay. I can go and see the completed unit at Four Ways Junction. It was a 3-bedroom apartment. So when I went there, then we went back to the head office. They started the procedure. They gave me a sale agreement. I decided to do due diligence. I first of all went to look for their lawyers. Their lawyers told me that the apartment is already charged at the Equity Bank because they have a big loan. So what I decided to do is, again, to go to my lawyer and take the sale agreement they had given me. When my lawyer went through the sale agreement, he told me that it was very fake, and I should not put my good money into bad money. I'll lose more money. So I decided not to continue buying that apartment, and then up to now I'm still claiming for the refund of my money.
You said earlier when you went asking for the refund of your money, now that you're not interested with the extra units they were offering, what did they tell you?
They told me they will refund my money on condition they get a buyer of the apartment I had applied for. Even up to today, they always say we have not gotten a buyer. So then I told them, who can buy just something, just a plain rad, which you have been promising people to construct since 2016 up to now. Then you must be lying. You are not looking for a buyer. Okay, when I complained many times. They started telling me, no, we are looking for an investor. And in case we get an investor, the project will start.
Okay.
But now I'm tired. I've lost hope. I want back my money. I've taken a loan to pay for the deposit. I have been paying loan plus interest. And therefore, I want back my money plus interest and damages.
Okay, that is the story of Ruth Wanjuku, one of the investors with Suraya Property Group. She was supposed to have gotten 2 units out of a proposed Links Classic property off Kiambu Road. And as you've heard, she has not been able to get her money back. And earlier we had gone looking at this property, and all there is just mounds of soil and a lot of vegetation. Well, this is just a scenario of many others out there who are complaining about being duped by the Suraya Property Group, and we shall be bringing to you more details coming out of this, even as others start questioning about the properties that have been developed by Suraya Property Group. Back to you in studio.
Right, very devastating for potential buyers who had put their money in that property. Let's move on now to the coast. Over 7,500 school heads are currently participating in the 4th Kenya Secondary School Heads Association Conference in Mombasa. The meeting will give the teachers a chance to iron out issues affecting secondary school education in the country. Our coast reporter Kevin Mutai now joins us with a live report. Kevin, we spoke earlier and there are a lot of concerns on the table, and you told me earlier also that the agenda may have increased from just looking at infrastructure. The teachers are also looking at some other things, which include?
Well, Ken, before I go to that, let me just tell our viewers that any minute from now we'll be able to know the principal of the year, the teacher of the year, and the ICT teacher of the year, because those presentations are currently ongoing. And in that particular platform, remember, these are over 7,500 school heads. Those are principals from secondary schools across the country converging here in Mombasa to talk about various issues in the secondary sector. And among them, they say that they'll discuss the infrastructure in schools. Remember, the entire issue of capitation among teachers, according to the research that the Kenya Secondary School Heads Association conducted recently, maintained that they've discovered at least 6 teachers are employed in every school per year. It is a concern that they expect tomorrow to raise those issues with the Professor George Magoha, the Cabinet Secretary for Education. Is expected to be here tomorrow. Remember, this is a meeting that will bring together all the education stakeholders, apart from the teachers. The exhibitors are here, the Teacher Service Commission, NAT and KUPPET officials are also expected to grace these particular occasions. Remember, the school heads are complaining of various issues, including the CBC, and they're saying that they will interrogate those policies that are currently being run by the Ministry of Education before coming up with various proposals on ways that they'd want these issues to be addressed. But quickly, Ken, let me bring in one of the exhibitors who has been here since morning and will be here all through to Sunday during the 5-day conference to quickly tell us why he's here and why what this particular conference means to them. Thank you so much for joining NTV. Why are you here?
Thank you very much, Kevin. I'm David Ayeko, working with Longhorn Publishers. The reason why we are here is basically we are critical stakeholders in education matters. By meaning, I mean we provide books that are necessary for teaching and learning in our schools. So for the principal we are basically here to show them some of the books that we publish that are critical in ensuring that the teaching and implementation of the curriculum in their schools goes on smoothly. Yes.
The CBC is coming. It's a new curriculum. A new curriculum. Are you flexible to execute any changes if the government proposes?
Definitely. We work to support the education system in this country. And as a publishing firm that is Longhorn, we work with the government policies. If the government is what knows what need to be learned by students in this country. And if they proposes, then that's the way we need to go. So we are ready. We are ready to comply with the government directive, whichever time it comes.
Okay. Thank you so much. Ken, like I said, over 7,000 school heads are here, and Professor George Magoha is expected to be here tomorrow. We are told that an official from the Teacher Service Commission will be making a key address this afternoon before today's event closes and teachers disperse to various places where they'll be resting before commencing with another day of the conference tomorrow on Tuesday. We will be keeping an eye on what will be happening during the entire conference, Ken, and we will be updating our viewers on whatever will be happening from our side here in Mombasa. Back to you, Ken.
Thanks, Kevin, and we'll wait for the winners and we'll announce them. Kevin Mutai with a live report from Mombasa. Let's move on. And this morning there was some confusion for drivers right here in Nairobi as the county implemented its new revenue collection platform. Nairobi residents from this morning paid for various services using a new and different code and paybill number after the breakup between the county government and Web Tribe, who have been running Jambo Pay.
Today marks the first day Nairobi residents are required to use a different code and different paybill number to pay for services to the Nairobi County Government. Motorists, traders and businesses in the capital will now remit their taxes through an internally managed system using the new USSD short code *235#. After a spot check in various streets around the capital, it appears it is not going according to plan, with many claiming they had no idea of the transition.
I don't know anything about the new one. It is you, in fact, you is telling me about the new one.
No, I'm not aware. I have been paying using *217.
The Nairobi County government officially parted ways with the Web Tribe Limited that runs Jumbo Pay, with hints of a relationship gone sour.
We expected that our partner would give us the data we asked for as soon as we asked for it. But we were actually receiving it yesterday.
We did give notice well in advance to the client, even before the contract, beginning of the year. We are now we are in June. So that is 6 months ago. We indicated that our unwillingness to continue with the engagement. We, as a matter of fact, did not tender.
Nairobi residents and visitors are now calling for better information flow from the county government.
Sema kuna system mpya na hakuna mtu wa kutuambia vile tutalipa.
There was no billboard, there was no civic education on the part of the city council telling us, come Monday, things will have changed.
Others tried to be more optimistic.
Inakaa tu nikigoja. Takaa tu nikigoja nione kama watalipa, na pia hiyo si nimeseviwa 200. So somehow iko sawa.
Anita Nkonge, NTV.
And residents of Ichangi village in Murundiko Ward, Mwea East, want the Ministry of Education to operationalize a secondary school that was constructed back in 2013. Construction is now complete, but the school is yet to admit a single student.
4 years after its completion, and the school that had been seen as a harbinger of hope for those seeking secondary school education is slowly wasting away without ever taking in a single student.
Shule yetu sasa imeachiliwa, already imejengwa madarasa mawili na hakuna mtoto amewahi ripoti hapa, na hakuna mwalimu hata mmoja amewahi letwa hapa wa secondary school.
The school had been constructed using funds from the Constituency Development Fund, but the residents say they are yet to feel the impact of this institution.
Saa hii imekuwa ni shamba ya kulima, hata ukiangalia na kuna mahindi, kuna nyanya na kuna meshiri na padangwa huku, sababu hakuna watoto. So hiyo uwanja sasa inatumiwa na kulima.
Mali yetu hapa ya shule imeanza kuibwa, na wakati inaibwa watoto wetu wanahangaika. Tunapeleka watoto mbali sana.
Indeed, due to the state of disuse, the school's compound has now been leased to a private person who has turned it into a maize farm. The residents now want the Ministry of Education to change the school into a tertiary education center.
Hii shule imbadilishwe iwe polytechnic juu watoto wetu wanasumbuka sana. Yeri ya Muridoko hakuna polytechnic, na ndio tuweze kuchukua watoto wanatoka huko mbali. Mimi na prefer iwe polytechnic, na ndio inaweza tusaidia sana.
Kama si hivyo, tunaomba area hii tunaenda mbali sana hospitali. Tupatiwe hii iwe kama dispensary.
Brenda Wanga, NTV.
Now, camel owners in Taita Taveta County are counting more losses after they found 60 more of their camels killed. Ibrahim Hussein, a camel owner, says they had reached an agreement with the community to pay them between 800,000 to 1.2 million shilling per year to allow them graze their 200 camels. They claim the local leaders have incited the community to kill their camels. The herders say they have incurred losses amounting to over 50 million shillings in the last 2 days since the conflict began. The herders say they have been collecting over 90,000 liters of milk, selling a litre at 100 shillings.
Sasa gamia amesanywa bahali moja, yote imekatwa, wote mwangozi iko ndani. Sasa wamekata na tumepata hasara moja kubwa sana.
Na hiyo gamia yote mizaa mtoto yake hakuna ile amefika miezi 2. Mtoto yake sasa yote anakaa kulia kwa boma. Hakuli majani.
To Kilifi, where fishermen around Mida Creek in Watamu in Kilifi have been warned against using destructive fishing methods as a way of protecting the marine ecosystem. Wardens at the marine park say some fish species have become extinct as a result of overfishing.
An urgent meeting comprising of fishermen and wardens at Watamu Marine Park in Kilifi County had to be convened. This is after it was established a majority of the fishermen were using outlawed fishing methods that endanger marine life. As a result, some fish species have become extinct due to overfishing and fishing of fingerlings.
Zile neti wanatumia si neti ambazo zinaruhusiwa. Tumekuwa na visa ya kwamba kuna watu wanatumia neti za kulalia
na pia kuna ile neti ya mkano ambayo inaitwa monofilament net. So hizo neti zote ziko very destructive.
It was also a perfect opportunity for the fishermen to express their views.
Kwani tumekataa sisi kuacha hiyo uvuvi wa namna ile, hata ninyi watu tumekataa? Ama mimi nina vita na wewe? Kule tukija kule baharini ukiona na kukimbia, nimekuogopa, nimekuheshimu na kuacha ufanye kazi yako.
Ningependa tuseme tusikindane na serikali. Tumeambiwa kwamba tunataka tusaidiwe. Tuichukue hiyo.
Uhifadhi wa mazingira isifanye watu kuwa nini? Maskini. Lakini uhifadhi wa mazingira upatie nafasi pia kwamba watu wakue kiuchumi katika yale mazingira ambayo wanafanya.
Wardens at the Watamu Marine Park say arresting the fishermen and imposing harsh penalties had not helped to curb the vice. The Kenya Wildlife Service has now opted to start going to the villages to sensitize communities on the need to protect and conserve marine life. The fishermen from Chafisi village were urged to form beach management units, BMUs, from where their activities will be controlled. Through BMUs, the fishermen will be vetted, registered, and their issues tackled. Only registered fishermen will benefit from fishing equipment provided by the National Government Constituency Development Fund. Sharon Baranga, NTV.
Let's take you to the county of Migori now, where at least 2 people died when their boat capsized in River Kuja, that's in Wathokelo, Migori County. According to witnesses, the 2 drowned after the makeshift boat capsized as they tried to cross the raging waters in what locals say is the 5th incident in a span of 1 year due to poor infrastructure in the area. School-going children are said to be the most vulnerable since they have to use the boats to cross over to access their schools.
Sasa hapa juu kuna soko ingine, huku pia kuna soko. Sasa watu wengi kama wanataka kuenda kwa ngambo hii lazima wavuke hapa. Kuna daraja lakini hiyo daraja iko mbali. Iko mbali sana na hapa. Hiyo ndio sababu tumezoea hizi kupitia hapa na hizi boats ndogo ndogo hizi.
Elsewhere, a section of West Pokot leaders, among them the Governor John Lonyangapuo, now wants the government to revive the stalled national youth service programs in the county. The leaders claim the stalled projects have resulted to increase in crime and other social vices among the youth.
Speaking at Kapenguria during the launch of a former NYS workers' SACCO, the elected leaders challenged the government to revive youth projects. The leaders argue that these projects kept the youth busy and away from vices such as crime and drug abuse. West Pokot Governor John Lonyangapuo encouraged more groups to form SACCOs in order to achieve some financial freedom.
Na kama kaunti tunasisitiza kwamba cooperative ndio barabara ya kuingia sasa. Kila wamama wale wako silk groups wa form cooperative. Vijana wa form cooperative. Na tuwe na side ya cooperative mingi sana in the entire county. Kwa sababu tumeform moja kubwa umbrella yenu yao inaitwa West Pokot Economic SACCO Wepesa. Kila SACCO itakuwa naomba pia pesa kutoka hii SACCO kubwa.
The governor pointed out that West Pokot Economic SACCO, WEPSA, will give credit to ensure the young SACCOs thrive for the benefit of the community. Kapenguria Member of Parliament Samuel Moroto warned that many reformed young men who had joined NYS are now idle and could easily go back to crime.
Na nafikiri serikali sasa imesuluhisha hiyo maneno. Tunataka warudi. Unasikia wao wanasema hawajapata mshahara yao yote. Na kwa sababu ni shida, ilisimamisha. Si ati serikali ilisimamisha ati muda yao imekwisha, hapana. Ni ile ukora ya corruption ndio iliharibu.
The MP called on the government to introduce more projects in the North Rift region, which he says could help end cattle rustling along the border towns and villages. Befin Okoth, NTV.
Some politics now, and Kiambu Women Rep Gathoni Wamuchomba got a cold reception from the congregation of the ACK Church in Mairungi, Kandara, that's in Murang'a County, where she was in the company of 20 other leaders affiliated to the Kieleweke political group. It all started when the women rep, that's Gathoni Wamuchomba, took to the podium and accused Kandara Member of Parliament Alice Wahome of insulting her during a recent political function. Wamuchomba was booed, allegedly, by the MP, that's Alice Wahome's supporters, while some of the congregants called on her to leave the stage and respect the Member of Parliament. The police had to intervene to stop the confrontation and restore order. The service resumed with Wamuchomba taking the pulpit again, but this time she had to tone it down. And right here in the capital, Nairobi Women Representative Esther Pasaris says she did not defraud the government through claiming allowances on her international trips. Pasaris was responding to allegations made by Nairobi Governor Mike Sonko that she sought an allowance from the county government even after she received it from the National Assembly. Pasaris has also threatened to take legal action on what she termed as character assassination by the governor. She spoke on arrival from Vancouver, that's in Canada, where she had attended an international women's conference.
I'm actually asking EACC. You know, sometimes complaints can reach the government arms through the public. This is a complaint by a senior state official, a governor, a sitting elected governor, that I have claimed per diem twice. That is an offense if one has done it that way. So what I would like is the governor to go and present the evidence that I have claimed it twice. All right. In the meantime, I shall also go and see my clerk and my speaker at the National Assembly to confirm that I have never claimed per diem for CSW from the Parliament.
And residents of Precious Garden Estate, that's in Ruruta, are accusing the housing finance group that manages the property of being unresponsive to the concerns over contaminated water that they claim had caused illness in many households. Now, the housing financial group, however, in a Twitter post said it was looking into the complaints about the water and the building structural safety. A team from the Nairobi Water Company also today took the water samples for testing.
Angry and frustrated residents of Precious Garden Estate gathered round what is believed to be the sole reason many of them have fallen sick and others nursing sickly children. This borehole that supplies water to residents across the estate that houses approximately 165 units is believed to be contaminated and the cause of an outbreak of illnesses across the compound. Residents say it has been 2 weeks since they complained to the housing finance group that manages the property, but they are yet to act.
HF is being paid. We are paying them a service fee of 5,000 shillings every month, but we're not seeing the issue being expedited. So there are some people who have reported within our WhatsApp group within the residents saying that their kids are sick. They've taken their kids to hospital. So that is enough evidence.
The Nairobi Water Company visited the premises and took samples of the water. On its Twitter page and in response to a raft of complaints by residents, the Housing Finance Group promised action. But residents are unconvinced, claiming they had even raised concerns about the building structural safety, but these concerns are yet to be addressed.
We are calling upon Housing Finance to resolve this issue as quickly as possible. We have committees within this particular residence that are voluntarily managing the affairs of this particular place. And we believe that they've also been communicating to HF Group, but it seems there's some sort of delay. There's some sort of delay in terms of resolving this issue.
Anita Nkonge, NTV.
NTV's Molo-based camera person Jimson Ndungo has been recognized in his efforts in highlighting the dangers of the Salga-Sechangwan black spots. Ndungo was fitted during an event organized by the county government of Nakuru, Red Cross and the St. John's Ambulance, which is aimed at recognizing efforts to create awareness and sensitize members on proper road use. Speaking during the event, Nakuru Deputy Governor Eric Korir lauded the first respondents during road accidents. Korir noted that dwelling of the dangerous stretch has reduced the number of accidents and victims of road carnage.
Kutokea ile barabara kutoka Kinungi hata mpaka hapa Mau Summit, kwa sababu eneo hiyo yote, kwa sababu inakava Nakuru County, tuone tutakuwa tukitenga pesa kiasi fulani ambayo itakuwa ikisaidia hawa, na hiyo jambo itakuwa jambo.
Across our borders, 4 people were killed as security forces moved to quell a civil disobedience campaign launched on Sunday in Khartoum, that's in Sudan. Now, this comes a week after dozens died in a crackdown on protesters demanding civilian rule. Most offices and businesses remained shut.
The Sudanese Professionals Association, which first launched protest against Omar al-Bashir in December, said the civil disobedience campaign will continue until military rulers transfer power to a civilian government. Protesters set about building roadblocks in Khartoum, while markets and shops were closed in other towns and cities. Khartoum residents have mostly remained indoors since Monday, when men in military fatigues raided the protest camp. Several vehicles of the feared Rapid Support Forces, blamed by witnesses for the killings at the sit-in, were seen Sunday in various parts of Khartoum. Several airlines have scrapped their Sudan flights since the deadly raid, and passengers were left waiting outside Khartoum Airport's departures terminal on Sunday. The downtown business district was largely shut and buses were not running in several areas, but private vehicles were ferrying passengers in some locations. In Omdurman, many shops and markets remained closed, but people were seen buying provisions at some grocery stores. The military took over after persistent protests led to the ousting of longtime President Omar al-Bashir in April, promising a transition to civilian rule.
Well, up next is sports with Ida Waringa.
Thanks for that, Ken. A very good afternoon to you. Let's play. And Portugal became the first team to win the UEFA Nations League after Goncalo Guedes' goal gave them a 1-0 win over Netherlands in the final. Portugal had only 45% possession, but were more dangerous throughout as they added yet another trophy to the Euro 2016 title they won 3 years ago, also under coach Fernando Santos and captain Cristiano Ronaldo, who scored